Well, good morning. Thank you, everybody, for this meeting. Because this achievement that we have been compiling over the years already, it's thanks to all of your participation. We have gathered a lot of knowledge, a lot of good practices, and in these meetings, they're all of them are in the IPS YouTube channel now. And I think some people rely on us recording this today, so they'll be able to watch what we are doing. So that's a great thing too. Thank you really for being here. I'm going to start with the agenda, of course. There. So this is our second meeting for the year. We have been sharing the meetings in the IPS YouTube channel, as I told you before. We fixed the dates for these meetings finally to the third Saturday of January, May, and September. Because starting with the first Saturday of this month, it wasn't working for January. Many people were on vacation, yet still at that time. So we moved it to the third Saturday of this month. I think it's going to be okay that way. For today, we have this agenda. Actually, I have some news and I have a survey that I want to give you and several participations. And I really thank you again for this. In the recent news, I want to tell you, for example, our South American affiliate, the American Association of Planetariums, South American Association of Planetariums, it has a name in Spanish, has turned into a Latin American and Caribbean Planetarium Association because there were many countries, like my country, Costa Rica, which didn't have an affiliate. We were like orphans in the world of the planetariums. So the South American Association just expanded their reach, and now they include Central America, Mexico, and the Caribbean. So it's a bigger association. And there's a lot of mobile planetariums there. So it's very significant for this region to be able to participate in a big affiliate for IPS. Among other news, the German speaking Planetarium Association has just had their meeting in Germany, and one of the things that was their concern is the effects of the wars, financial crisis on the planetarium's performance, fixed and mobile planetariums. That's the reason I wanted to give you like a survey like very soon. So during the meeting, you can fill it up, and at the end, I can give you some results. These results could be an article in the Planetarium magazine soon, so please participate with that. Okay, that's with the introductions, and let me give you the survey. I think that's what I should do like right now. This and I want to put the link in the chat too. So let me find a practical way of finding the mouse. Maybe just escape here. Okay. You can like actually scan that and let me give you the link to the survey. By the way, please include in the chat your name and country because we always make statistic out of that. And so to start with our participations, I really want to thank John Meader for being with us today. I'm a secret admirer of his work. I know he has, what I know, he has a Starlab Planetarium, a classic Starlab Planetarium, which I started with too many years ago. But I can't think or find a planetarium that has been working for so long. Even my planetarium is 35 years, but John is even, you have more years. So I want you to share with us how have you done this and what is it that you do that could help other mobile planetarium operators to do their job, not necessarily with a specific technique or equipment, but show us, John, tell us what you have done, please. I've stopped
Um,
sharing here.
sure. Can I share?
Yes, you can.
Okay, I pulled a very quick little PowerPoint together here just because
Great.
I'm visual and I work best with visuals, as we all seem to do. So, My business is called Northern Stars Planetarium, and I started it in 1987. I actually have two domes. I have a large dome, which is 6.7 meters, and a small 16-footer, 4.8-meter dome. This picture is 25 years old, and is one of the rare times I had them both set up at the same time. I was at a science teachers conference here in the state of Maine. I actually got my start in 1979 at the University of Maine Planetarium at Orono, Maine, and I was student director there and then program director. After that, I ran a little planetarium at a science center in northern Maine, a little 24-foot dome, and it's a delightful little planetarium, but it was a long way from where I wanted to live. And so I wanted to live in central Maine, and I was 28 years old, and no one would spend millions of dollars to build me a planetarium like I was trying to talk people into doing. And a guy named Jordan Marche, who was former editor of the Planetarium, I met him at a conference, and he said, "You should buy a portable." So consequently, I bought a portable thinking that I'll do this for a couple of years. Now I have two domes. I have a 22-foot or 6.7-meter dome, which requires a gymnasium. And I also have a 4.8-meter dome, which can fit in a classroom or in all kinds of little tiny small spaces. This is the dome you see most frequently, I think. So in 1987, I bought a little dome and I started traveling to schools here in Maine. And I really thought I'd do this for 5 years until I could convince people that they need to build me a real planetarium, whatever that meant. And I fell in love with the portable. And in 1996, I bought the first large dome that Learning Technologies ever built. It was their demo. And I started traveling around with that. This is my son's class. He's in there somewhere. He's now 38 years old. So it gives you an idea of how long I've been doing this. I'm in the midst of my 39th year. Now, when I run my planetarium, it's not just the Starlab Dome and a star projector. This is my current outfit that I lug around every day when I go to schools. Starting this year, I've dropped down to 3 days a week. I'm 67 years old, so I'm in semi-retirement. So I'm trying to cut down my gear, cut down the radius I travel, and cut how many days I'm working each week. So I put a carpet down mainly to put electrical cords underneath. I hook up all my electronics inside. I've got the black box you see here in the back. I don't use much anymore. That has a slide projector in it. When I first started, I ran 3 slide projectors and 25 special effect projectors and my star projector. I knew that to make a living, I had to do lots of shows, and I wanted the variety that let me do. This is before there was any digital stuff around, and so today I still use this little console I built back in 1986 when I was designing it. It was designed to control 3 slide projectors, these controls down on the right, on-off switches, a DC system, and a bunch of dimmers and stuff. Pretty low-tech stuff, but everyone thought it was pretty cool at the time. Set my star projector on top. I have my own house lights and my cloud projector, and this is the contraption, as the kids call it. So this is what my setup looks like inside. For the most part, it's changed a little bit. It's like all planetariums is constantly evolving. I no longer use the Bose acoustic wave. That was actually stolen one day. So I've got a little small thing now, which works great. I don't use many slide projectors anymore. I don't have that video projector. I have a new video projector, but I use it for PowerPoints and that sort of thing. My console, if you look on the inside, it's filled with all kinds of little special effect projectors. And those have changed some over the years too. And some of those have been taken out and others put in. I tend to put things in that I could use in many different applications. I'm doing 98%, 99% live presentations all the time. And so I've got a rotating Earth when I want to show rotating Earth or rotating galaxy or an aurora borealis projector and meteor showers and things like that, things that you could use in different situations. I'm currently using a fiber arc Starlab planetarium projector. I'm a little worried about the bulb replacements. A year ago, I bought 2 bulbs for $140 a piece, and I find they last me about 9 months to a year. And I got down to just one spare bulb, and I like to have two. I went to order another one, and they're $350 a piece now for the bulbs. So it's like I'm afraid that soon they're going to outprice that. Luckily, I'm towards the end of my career, I guess. I don't know. I inflate with 2 box fans. I don't use the round fans. I hate the round fans. I like the box fans because they're much quieter. I like to have two because you can have two on low and still have a nice taut dome. I like domes that are really tight, but I want it quiet. And two on low is quieter than one on medium. So that's what I use. Once I get all the electronics hooked up inside, I pull the dome over it like you all do, and then simply inflate it. And this is my big dome, which I use probably 90% of the time. It's one of the rare things where I make more money with it and the schools pay less money, because a school with my little dome, which I would have been in for 5 or 6 days perhaps, now I can be there for a day or two and charge them less, and it opened up my calendar so I could go to more schools. So I actually earn more money with this, which is good being self-employed, and the schools spend less. Um, so once I'm inflated, the kids come in and we sit on the floor and look at the dome. I introduce myself and explain how we're going to get in and the rules of the road. I run a tight ship with kids because I'm dealing with 50 to 60 kids at a time inside the dome. We all take our shoes off, cuts the wear and tear way down. This is looking in from the entrance tube. This was a public presentation I did at a local arts organization here in Waterville, where I live. This is what 75 kids looks like inside the big dome from one side of the dome. This is what 50 people look like inside the dome. I suggest 55 is a max, and knowing very well that if you say 55, you're going to get 65. I used to say 65 was my max, and people would put it to 75 and 80, and 80 people in there, I can't get them out fast enough in case of an emergency, whereas 50 people, I can have everyone out in like 10 seconds very quickly. This is in my little dome, just by comparison. You can see the space difference is a lot smaller in a 16-foot dome than a 22-foot dome. And I use a video projector mainly for doing PowerPoints, adds little video clips and still images. And I love using PowerPoint. I use Keynote sometimes, mainly because today things change so fast. Back in the slide days, getting new images took a while. I remember when the Voyager images of Uranus came in, and I had to wait like 3 weeks before I got those slides. And now you can get them instantly, and I can update shows as I go. And so I use that, and this is a selfie I took of myself with my star field. And during COVID, of course, putting 60 kids in a plastic bag didn't go over for a while, as we all are familiar with. So being self-employed, I had to work. So we took it outdoors, started doing things like model solar systems with kids once we realized we could be outdoors and doing things safely together. Solar observing with solar telescopes and doing lessons on the sun. Did a lot of stuff online using Stellarium software and PowerPoints online with kids all over the state tuning in because everyone was doing online education. I started doing that, and we have a film festival here in Central Maine called the Maine International Film Festival. And they had a film coming out on dark skies, which I didn't produce it, but I was inside in it, and I do photography for the film festival every year. And they said, "Can you do your Stellarium thing on our screen?" And so we did 2 packed houses of people with Stellarium in a movie theater, which was great fun. And of course, there were teachers in there, and we had some teachers in schools in Portland, which is our biggest city, who they said, to have the planetarium come, even your big dome, you're going to be here for a week, and we can't lose our gym for a week. So now I do a lot of these flat screen in big auditoriums, and they pump the kids in, and we do Stellarium and PowerPoints on the screen. When it doesn't work to use the planetarium. The other thing I've always done alongside the planetariums, I do star parties. I have all these telescopes. If I'm out alone with a group, I'll use my C8 and the 2 astroscans, these little red guys. I show the kids how to use them, how to point them, how to find things using the finder scope, the little peep sight. Basically the rule is you don't horse around near it, you don't touch anything made of glass. See what you can find. And kids come running like, Mr. Meader, come look, I think I got Jupiter, or I got Saturn. And like, they get so excited. And then I use the C8 to look at things that, interesting things. We always have a line people waiting to look. If I have a helper along, which sometimes I do, then we'll set up another scope, maybe that refractor or the little C5. I've got some big binoculars, like some 80 by 11s or something that we'll put on a tripod. And I've done star parties like this with me and the 2 astroscans with 50, 60 people. When I get help, I've done star parties with 250 to 300 people. And we keep people pretty busy between that and using a laser pointer, of course, to point out constellations and and tell some star lore. I'm well known for my storytelling, and I do a lot of that. I got involved with the Katahdin Woods and Waters National Monument becoming a dark sky sanctuary. And we started a star party up there. It's an annual one called Stars Over Katahdin. And last year we had 450 people come. I organized about a dozen astronomers who all come with their telescopes, and it's incredible dark skies. It's Bortle 2, and just beautiful skies. In 2000, I helped form an organization here in Maine called Dark Sky Maine to promote Maine's dark skies. Well, Maine actually is the darkest skies east of the Mississippi River in the continental United States, and we're working really hard to keep it that way. As a matter of fact, just this year, the state legislature passed the first legislation statewide that all public lighting has to be dark sky compliant, first in the nation, which is pretty cool. I've been doing a lot of work with the Appalachian Mountain Club. They have a dark sky park in northern Maine, 120,000 acres of land, which is all dark sky compliant. And part of that mandate is doing educational programming. So I go up to their lodges. They have 3 lodges in the Northwoods, and myself and Sean Latch, who's the director of the Planetarium at the University of Maine at Orono, we go up there and we lead star parties and we do talks and tell stories and do solar observing. I help them design these little guides that they have, one for the winter sky and one for the summer sky that they have in their lodges for people to use. So, being self-employed, you start trying to diversify. I started with just that portable planetarium, and I did just that for a long, long time with the occasional star party. As I get older, I really like mixing it up. I love my dome, but my dome takes an hour to set up with all the gear I have and 40 minutes to tear down at the end of the day. And I love inside my dome, and I love the kids, and I love the astronomy, but I'm getting the point now where, if I never had to set that thing up again, it would be okay. Only because the time is, I would, if I could have anything, it'd be someone who goes ahead and sets everything up so I could walk in and do my shtick and then turn around, walk away. Right now, this is Whitehead Light, which is an island off the coast of Maine, and they run symposiums here where they do something on photography, or I do an astronomy thing there for 4 nights. They feed gourmet food, and people come, and it's great fun, and the skies are just beautiful. The other thing I do is I do a lot of astrophotography, and I lead astrophotography workshops for people, uh, showing them how to, photograph wide field astrophotography, shots of the Milky Way, or when there's a comet in the sky, like Comet Pons Brooks here. This is at the Appalachian Mountain Club last winter. I was up there. You have to go in by snowmobile or ski. It's 6 miles back from the nearest road, and the skies are just incredible. And so helping people learn how to shoot pictures like this is just a joy for me. I'm a photographer, as Susan and Marco know, and I loved shooting the night sky, and I love helping other people learn how to do it too, because it's really not rocket science, and it's way easier today than it was in film days. So all this stuff really falls back to my planetarium work, which I still do. I am in the process of trying to cut back. I used to do 4 to 5 days a week during the school year, and then 3 to 4 days a week in the summertime. And I'm cutting down to 3 days a week now. Once I get 3, I'm stopping. Uh, if I don't make my own boundaries, no one's going to make them for me. I could work 7 days a week with this thing, and then I would really burn myself out. I don't have the energy I had 20 years ago. I used to do 5, 6 shows a day. I now limit myself to 4. I had a principal the other day said, "Oh, I can fit 5 in my day." And I felt like saying, "Good for you." I do 4, and if you need 5, I'll come back another day. So I'm trying to pull in and make it so I can still do it and enjoy it and get home and not be totally wiped out by the energy it takes to do live programming all day long. And after all, that's what we're all here for, is the oohs and ahs, and hopefully to get kids do some critical thinking, adults do some critical thinking, and be oohed and ahed enough to go back to their classroom or go back home and look at the sky when you're outdoors at night. Maybe go online and learn about Jupiter or Saturn or whatever it is that caught their attention, or read one of those foolish things called books. Remember those? That's really all I want kids to do. I had a principal who said, "What facts are the kids going to learn today?" And I said, I can't tell you that. I'm going to throw lots of facts at these kids, and I don't really care if they remember any one of them, because you don't need me for facts. What I want to do is inspire those kids to want to learn those facts and go look them up themselves, or look at the night sky. If one of these kids walks from the car to the house and says, "Hey, Dad, look, there's Orion," then I just succeeded. That's really all I really want. So that's kind of my story, what I've been doing, and I'll give back the share. I don't think I have anything. Yeah, that's it. Um, I'll be glad to take any questions anyone has.
I have like 100 questions, but I'm going to let the other people ask first.
Yeah, go ahead, anybody. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead, Cuauhtemoc.
Thank you, Marco. Gracias, Marco. Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Thank you, John, for this wonderful talk. And uh, we bought our mobile planetarium just like 7 months ago. We're just adapting and getting to know how to handle it. May I ask about the price for your
sure.
service, just to have a reference?
Yeah, what I charge, well, I'm terrible quoting off my head. The minimum I go out for is $175. And that's what I charge for a single presentation plus mileage. Mileage is variable right now because gas prices are going up. But I charge $175 for the first one. The second one's a little bit less. Like if they do two, the second one's like $165. And I'll do up to four a day. The small dome is a little bit cheaper per show, but my base fee is the same for either dome because I just can't afford to go out and spend a day for any less than that. But if I do a full day with a big dome, I think I'm earning about $550 or $600 in a day plus mileage.
Thank you very much.
Sure. Any other questions?
Hi, John. Can you hear me all right?
Oh, we got an echo. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think I have a little bit of a tech problem there. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you just fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Ah, good. Great thing. Well, I'm just like Marco. I have like a million questions that I would really love to ask you, but I'm gonna just choose a couple of them if you don't mind.
I don't
You
mind at all.
you briefly showed us some spiral binded guides. I think
Yep.
it was guides that you said that you made yourself. Would you come back and show us a little bit more about them?
Yeah. I mean, the only picture I have is that one. I probably have one here somewhere. They're basically about 10 pages each, and they're hardbound. They're not published to be sold. They use them they have them in their lodges. They'll have a half dozen in each lodge. So that people come to stay, since they're in a dark sky park, it gives them a guide to, seasonally to go out and find some constellations and understand how to tell a planet from a star and, why is that star red and things like that. It's real basic stuff. We just do some basic constellations. The winter we center around Orion and Canis Major and Canis Minor and Taurus. And we always include the dippers, Ursa Major and Ursa Minor. In the summer, we work around the summer triangle and Sagittarius and again, the dippers. And because people at these lodges in the Appalachian Mountain Clubs in the wintertime from uh, early January to March, a lot of cross-country skiing and snowshoeing, and that's when they're there. And then the summer, they're there from mid-June till October. And we do a week-long thing every October called the See the Dark Festival, where people come, and I'm there for the entire week. Sean Latch is there for the entire week. We have guest speakers coming and going all through the week, and we do talks. And there's no place to set up a planetarium there. None of the lodges have space that big. So I'm working stellarium. If it's cloudy, if it's clear, we're out every night with telescopes. And we always have talks every day too. And they also have music coming in, and it's great fun. And it's a great gig because, from my perspective, they pay me, they feed me, they give me a nice place to stay. I get to be with colleagues for an entire week, and we're under incredible Portal 2 skies, which is just beautiful. And we got an audience who is just eating this stuff up. And when you have an audience that wants to hear what you have to say, that's just makes it like easy peasy.
Yeah, it does really. And well, you also talked about something I wanted to see if I got it correctly. Was there a bill that was passed so that new lighting regulations will be respected for dark skies? Is that what it
It's
was?
yeah, it's only for public lighting, state public, any buildings that go in, any public lighting that's statewide has to be dark sky compliant lighting for all their outdoor lighting. And they're working to try to get that to municipalities as well. But any state highways have to have dark sky compliant lighting. Any new state buildings, anything that's upgraded has to be changed to dark sky compliant lighting. And there's stuff, and they're working on expanding it to getting all the municipalities in the state of Maine to change that way too. It's not for private lighting. Politically, that's almost impossible to cross at this point. That comes from education, and there's a lot of education going on right now that we do with Dark Sky Maine and Dark Sky International, and people like myself who just I do lots of talks on dark skies for adult groups and kid groups and anyone who wants to listen.
And when people ask for stories about the sky, what do they want to know? Are they interested in mythologies of different skies than the Greek ones? Do they ask you for something in particular?
Yeah, right now I've had so many over the years. I keep changing what I'm offering. About 4 or 5 different 1 hour long presentations in the planetarium, which are all storytelling. And when I tell stories, I have one that's totally Greek based. I have one that's stories from around the world. I have one called Star Stories, which is designed for younger children. And then I did for a long time a Native American Sky Legend program, which I'm not offering anymore. And I do tell a few Native legends here, but it's not politically acceptable to do that now, and I want to honor that. I know a lot of Native people, and so we're cutting that down a little bit. But people love storytelling. And you tell stories. I had a 7th grade teacher call me up. I was coming to their school, and the whole school was going to have me. She goes, "My 7th graders can't sit for an hour in the planetarium. What's the best thing for them?" And I said, "Do heroes, gods, and monsters." That's my Greek mythology one. Yes, with 7th graders, Greek mythology is just sexy enough and just violent enough without going over the top in either one that within 5 minutes they're hooked right in there. And I love that.
Wow. Thank you so much. That was a great presentation, very inspiring, and it's going to stay with me for a long time.
Well, thank you. And if you have any questions or anyone has any questions, feel free to email me or call or whatever. I'll be glad to chat on the phone anytime or exchange emails and that sort of thing.
Great.
Oh, that's great, John. I'll just make one question. You have had the opportunity to use both the 5 meter and the 7 meter planetarium. And so I'm suspecting if you can use the 7 meter, you will go for that one, unless it doesn't fit in the place. Is that right?
Yeah, I use the 7 meter probably 80 to 90% of the time. I've actually been considering lately selling my 5 meter dome and just not having it, not even offering it anymore as a way to cut back a little bit. Partly it's economically I make much more money with a big dome, but the kids have more personal space, so there's less of the horsing around, punching each other and that sort of thing. You have a bigger sky. It's just more comfortable inside to be in there all day. And I like the big dome a lot, and I use it more than anything else.
Okay, that's very, very important. Here in Costa Rica, there are two 10 meters dome, I think, 8, 10 meters, but they're heavy. I think they were made in Mexico, but they need like a bigger truck and 2 people, 3 people to set it up. So they are not offering to go outside the city or Central Valley. So I have an advantage with a small startup because I just go anywhere
Yeah,
in a small
yeah,
car.
yeah.
But
I wouldn't want to lug anything around bigger than that 7 meter dome because it does weigh over 110 pounds. And but I'll tell you, I pack it up faster than the little dome. The bags they put those little domes in, I don't know where they ever came up with the idea that the bag was big enough. They do fit in there, but boy, the big dome, I have a bag, it fits in really comfortably. I don't have to squeeze it to death to get it in there. And I can lug it. I use a hand truck to move it around. I can lug it, but it's just heavy enough that you can hurt yourself if you're not careful.
you're right. Okay, well, thank you. I really want to congratulate you for all the things you have invented as your job.
Well, the last thing I'll say is, my friend Sean Latch, who runs a hard dome planetarium, he's been on my case for about 10 years now to get a digital dome, get the digital projector. And at this, if I was 30 years old, I would do that. I would probably move to that way. It'd simplify my setup. It wouldn't take me an hour to set up every day, and you can do all kinds of things. I recognize the value in that. At my point in my life, being 67 years old, going digital, the investment isn't going to increase my income. It would make my daily life easier, but I'm going to spend a lot of time paying that back. And because I'm self-employed, I have to buy this myself. And and at this point, people like what I'm doing, and I'm really selling myself. I don't advertise myself as a Star Lab. Advertise myself as you want me, not just a Star Lab. And you really got to like value what you can give your students and teachers. You want it so that, if you're starting this business, you want it so they want you. They don't want just someone with a dome. And because we've had a couple, like the local Children's Museum locally bought one about 7 or 8 years ago. And a school that I went to every year disappeared for a year. And I came back the next year and I said, where were you last year? She says, well, we had the Children's Museum come. She said, they did the Big Dipper and Orion, and they just spun the stars around. And she said, there really wasn't much content to it because they didn't have someone who really understood teaching astronomy very well. And so, having the gear is just the gear. It doesn't matter whether you got a Star Lab or you got some other manufactured dome or projector. It's what you can do with it. It's like, does it matter whether you have a Chevy or a Ford? It's like how you drive it. And that's the way I feel about the gear. Yes, I use Star Lab because that's what I have. Uh, but you know, if I have my choice, I'll be under the big dome outdoors because that's the one that's really real and amazing. But it doesn't matter what dome you have. It's matter what you can do with it.
Wow. So great. Everything you have showed us. John, really, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I will just recheck the recording again and again so I can learn more things from you. But you're right. I'm behind you. 35 years with the startups. In my case, the small one and the digital. So I've been in both worlds,
Yeah.
and I miss the cylinders, and I'm going back to them. Yes.
Well, I see digital projectors and, people showing all these wonderful digital movies, and they are beautiful. They're gorgeous.
Mhm.
I love to watch them. I don't want to show them. That's not what I do. I want to interact with kids. I want to ask questions. I want them to like focus on whatever we're talking about. And I like that life. It's exhausting. As I get older, it's more exhausting. But I feel like these kids, when they walk away, they've understood it and they've learned something, hopefully. And not just wowed because it's a cool visual.
Right. I want to tell everybody what I'm doing regarding that, because you cannot talk live so many presentations during the day, my voice or whatever. So I proposed an institution lately that first I will go to the auditorium with the whole school and have a 1 hour talk with them, with the kids, and then just use the Fulldome program as an illustration of what we talked about. So it makes it easier on the planetarium. But I had already the interactivity with the kids before. So I'm starting to offer that kind of service. First a chat, a talk, a conference, and then the planetarium to illustrate. And I think it's working.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, what I hear you're doing great work, Marco. What I see, it amazes me what you're doing. So kudos to you as well.
The thing is, as we just like what we do, so it's fun, and sometimes you get paid. Okay, no, really, thank you. And if you're up to having us sending emails for any more questions, you said
I,
that, so everybody.
I just put my email in the chat, and if anyone wants to has questions or something, do feel free to write.
Right.
I see Omar asked a question about at the end, maybe talking about at the end of this whole Zoom, talking about best practices for marketing.
Okay, yeah, we can discuss about that. Okay, well, thank you, really, John. So let's move on for our next presentation by Patrick Pomerleau. Are you there, Patrick? Oh, okay, great. And thank you for coming. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Start whenever you want.
Yeah, thank you, Marco, for this opportunity. I'm Patrick Pomerleau. I'm co-owner of Nest Immersion with Sean Caruso. That's should be online too. Say hi. Hello. Yeah, we're based in Canada and south of Quebec. It's Sherbrooke. It's near Montreal, for those who know where it is. We're more into immersive dome technology. So we create some software, and we have mostly a geodesic dome with negative pressure screen. So it's a rigid structure. So we don't make school mostly because it takes a day to set up. So it's a long time to install, and most of the time it's too long for a school day to just take one day just for the installation. We mostly do a corporate event and festivals. But recently we I can share my screen. Can I? Okay. Do you see my screen? I presume yes. Okay. So recently we have access to a whole, not a church, but a chapel based in a whole building that's it's big empty space. So we get this for maybe 2 years. So of course the first thing we did, we installed a dome to do some tests, and now we have a permanent dome installed in our city, so we can do some tests and invite people to see our technology and also do some experiment. So that soon later, the school where my daughter goes, the class have a thematic about cinema, any kind of cinema, and I just, oh, well, maybe they will be interested to know about full dome cinema. So I asked her teacher if she want to bring the class into her studio and try to teach something about dome industry and dome full dome technologies. So in the first visit, we show about how to film with a camera with a fisheye lens, and then how to create a movie with Unreal Engine, convert to full dome aspect. And we start to introduce also AI generative content. Then after the visit, they have to do some homework. So they have to write the stories about a short story about anything they want. And the purposes of that is the teachers select 4 of those stories and send us the script. I have an example here. So all of this is written by the student. It's a 9 to 11 years old student, so it's in French, of course. And we just the challenge was we don't edit anything. We just send it to AI tool like ChatGPT, then also to VO3 from Google, and we try to put all those story into a short film without any editing or very minor editing, and we limit to something like 10 or 12 hours of works for each stories. So that's what we did. So in the process, well, we send at first we send a kind of template to the student. So first talk about the visual signature of your movie. It's a cartoon movie, or it's a black and white movie or cinematic movie. Then what about the camera movement? What about the sounds? And what about the main character? What's look like? What age? The color of hair and everything. Then what in each scene? What's happening? So they spread up the story into different scene and this is easier for us than to create a story from that. So we send this to ChatGPT and convert to English prompt, saying that we want to use VO3 as AI engine to generate. So it's cut everything into small section because VO3 just generate 8 seconds of clip each time, which is not enough to have a full 3 minutes of movie. So
I like to mention something quick too, Pat. Is like the VO 3.1 model now accepts different languages, including French. I think there's a list on like the change log you can see, but you can actually prompt out in your native language. I'm pretty sure you could do like Italian, French, Spanish. I'm not sure what the limit is, but at this point, yeah, we were passing the ChatGPT to do like the translation from French to English just to make it just to streamline it. Just wanted to share that.
Thanks, John. Yeah, it's John that makes all this works for us. So every prompt starts with the same keyword, which is 360 degrees equirectangular full dome, then the style, then the description of the scene. So so what we did after, we go, if you're looking for VO3, maybe it's not the right thing, but we use Flow, Google Flow, from Google Lab. So you just type Flow in Google, and you get a link to Google Flow. Then you just hit create with Flow, and you have to log in with your login. I think basically you have some credits. You can use free credits, but if you want to do a full movie, well, you need a pay account. We got the Ultra account because we use it also for testing a little different aspect. So for example, this is one for the story of my daughter. So just for example, we try different aspect, different prompt, because the same prompt, if you repeat it, you can sort you different the different details in the stories. In this example, she wear a cap, but for example, in this one, I'm still wearing a cap. Sometimes it's a toque or a different hat. Well, I don't find it just because I talk about it, but just to give an idea, if I click on one of those clip. So it's an 8-second clip. But on the left, you see, I don't know if you see it. So this is the prompt used for this video clip. So it started with 360 degrees equirectangular full dome animation, bright, colorful, cartoon style, forest, full daylight, a small wooden house sit in the middle of a lush green forest. Tall trees surround the dome space. A 10-year-old girl named Amy exit the house and start playing in the garden. Amy wear a dark green sweater with a pale green circle. We see it. And a black pine tree symbol. It's not black, but it's still a pine into the green circle. So it's kind of precise in the character description. They wear gray pants and a brown cap with a pale brown circle and a bear symbol. So everything is that. Everything is there. So it's kind of amazing. And she has blonde hair, blue eyes, and light beige skin. The camera is wide, gentle, establishing a shot slightly elevated, slow and calm movements with up for a dome. Bird flying across the sky, joyful, peaceful countryside atmosphere. No music, just ASMR. We choose no music because we we want to do the montage after. So if there is music and you want to cut some scene, the music will cut too. So we prefer to add the music after.
Yeah, that's one of the limitations in VO 3.1 is that the music really isn't like because we're limited to 8-second clips. The music doesn't. The continuality doesn't really follow from one scene to the other. At the beginning too, it was the same with the characters. You would have the original character, and what we would do is with the VO 3.0, we would take a frame. We would take like the first frame and use it as a reference, or we would take the last frame and use it as a reference. They have a tool called ingredients. So you add like different images of your character and different different positions. Like you can like literally generate like iterations of your character, and it's going to help it to keep the same look of the character from one scene to the other. It's become a lot more smooth with the VO 3.1. Just wanted to throw that in.
Yeah, so now with the 3.1, now the interface change. If you want to, because 8 seconds is not enough, instead of do the next chapter for another 8 seconds, and maybe the character will be slightly different or the movement will be different. Now they have an extend button. So you can type here what's happening in the next second. So it will not generate another 8 seconds because they have a 2 second overlap. So it will extend from a 6 second more. So just for fun, somebody can just write in the chat what can happen next in this story. So she go out of the house. Oh, just move this a little bit. So she going out of the house, playing in the garden, and now what's happening next? So it could be wild, could be anything. It could be a dinosaur appear somewhere, or it could be anything. Just use your imagination. Write something in the chat, and we just look what's generation would do with it. The other option also is insert. Is if you want to keep the same clip, and you want to insert additional elements in the clip, or remove some element of the clip if you want to remove the flowers, for example. Or you can change the camera movement during this clip. But we don't really use it because sometimes it's broke the equi-rectangular aspect. Because so I don't know if someone just get inspired and write something in the chat.
I think Dr. Omar had a question. What is the aspect ratio that we're using? We're aiming for 2:1, but it gives us like we said or like Pat mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we just put the first prompt is always 360-degree equirectangular video. And why we put it at the beginning is there's some people that have tried it, they put it at the end. We put it at the beginning because it really forces it to create or to try and create an equirectangular video. We have a lot of success with the Zenith and the Nadir in terms of wrapping it. Like we put it into After Effects. We download it, put it into After Effects, use the VR converter, wrap it to fisheye. The one problem that we've been trying to figure out is the horizontal stitching that we haven't quite. Sometimes it works better than others. This is kind of one of the limitations right now. Other limitation is obviously the resolution. I think it's 1280 by. Once it's wrapped, it gives us 1280 by 1280 pixels. And then, I like to do the montage using this resolution because it's like using proxies, right? Like if you have a ton of 8K or 4K content, you downscale it to like 1K or 2K as a proxy, so you can work quicker in After Effects or Premiere, whatever. So it's like I just do the editing at 1280 by 1280 in After Effects, and then we render it out in like ProRes, or it could be an image sequence, and then we upscale it using Topaz, and we found a pretty nice recipe using Topaz AI Video. that kind of works well with the VO 3.1 model in terms of like the aliasing and just fluidity. It renders out at 24 frames a second from VO 3.1, and then I always up the frame rate to about 60 frames per second for the final render in Topaz at about like 2.5K by 2.5K, something like this. We've gone up to like 4K. It's a bit of a stretch, but what I've heard from Google is between now and next year, we will be able to at 2K. We're going to be able to render out at 2K, or at 4K. So like maybe, I don't know, UHD like 38, what is it, 38, 20 by whatever. It's almost 4K. So we'll be able to natively wrap that into like a 2K dome master directly from VO3. We don't have to do any, maybe just for the frame, we'll see. So there's a lot. It's moving quickly. What's up? The tool is constantly being developed. So
yeah, it's moving so quickly that I show you what I see this morning. So if you hit download, see what's new from this morning. You can upload it directly upscale in 4K. So we don't need to upscale with Topaz anymore.
I'd like to do a test though to see the two, because I've seen on the forums they're kind of battling it out to see which actually gives the better quality.
So just to say you that it changed every day.
Yeah.
So I don't know if somebody just put some ID in the chat for the what's happening next. Not yet. So let's say something weird. I don't know how to go back to. I don't know up to. Okay, go back. So I don't know, but maybe just to save some time, I just did some tests here. So this was the original sequence. Okay, and I just had extend width. A UFO arrive from the sky, stay above the little girl. The girl look at the UFO, and then a beam of light coming from the UFO to the little girl. Then the little girl gets sucked by the beam, and the UFO fly away. So just something really, really wild. And this is what it generates from. So it starts from the first clip. Then after 8 seconds, they add now the UFO appearing from the sky, just get a beam up, and she's gone. So
nice.
You can retry it several times, and it will just give you some different result. So you pick the one you want to use, then you download it. You can play it directly. For example, if your system support equirectangular, in our case, and we can convert with your player directly from panoramic to fisheye, so we can test it directly in the dome and try what could be the best camera orientation, and also the field of view if you want to zoom in, zoom out. And when you have the good parameters, then you can use After Effects. So you import your clip in After Effects, create your composition, then you use the VR converter that's come with After Effects now. Just drag into your clip. You select from equirectangular to fisheye full dome. then you can put the same camera orientation and ratio you use. Then after you can do your montage for your different clips with the music, and you render for your dome. So it's a workflow that works great. But please don't expect to have professional grades render just like a studio. It will not replace artists at all, because there's a lot of different artifacts. There's a lot of different things that the AI don't do. So for example, we spend so much credit to try to jump a horse above an obstacle, and we can't. We just can't. You just don't try to. Well, it's very hard with the physics. So but it's just fun, and after we did all those small story, we invite for the school back to the dome to see the result, and the people were really amazed. And of course, there's a lot of different artifacts and weird things happening, like a bird that just flying from the back to you and then flip directly from one frame to the other frame. It's just different things like this, but it's part of the workshop, and we ask the student, well, how many defaults you see? So can you spot all difference? Can you see what's and what clue you have that it's generated by AI? So it's now they train themselves to detect, oh, the feet there change the color, oh, the hat changed the shape from scene to scene. Oh, so we can fit just the house just changing the shape between the beginning and the end. And it's very subtle, but they're very awake about that, and they spot very easily all of this. And this is the purpose. I mean, it's not for corporate production or anything, but it's really fun to work with AI. And also we know that now some young person are kind of stressed and about AI things or drone things. That now it's it will steal my job. It will use for hackers, and now the AI will take control of the world. But the AI can do also fun stuff. So it's also a part of try to reduce the AI stress about this. I don't know if you have a question about this, and or if you have inspiration.
Do you have the Dome Master of that path that just rendered to play? Or
yeah, I can put some.
I don't know how much time we have, but
yeah, well, if you want to see the result is here, but I can share a link in the chat so you can see them and also download them and try it in your dome if you have a digital dome.
yeah, I think it would be nice to share, like, maybe if it's okay with you guys, we can share the Dome Masters, and you can check them in your domes. The links, I think they're shareable. Everything in Google Drive is shareable, so.
Sure, you can do that. Please share so we can test the images. It's great, all the workflow that you do with that.
Yeah, and there's other AI models too. I know Midjourney can export directly in 180 fisheye. So at the beginning of the prompt, if you put 180 fisheye, the problem is kind of like telling the degrees. I put 180 fisheye, but even if you put, like, I've tried like 220, I didn't really see a change. I didn't really see a change in the field of view, but it does export pretty well directly in fisheye, like 1-for-1 ratio. That's Midjourney. I like the flexibility of having equirectangular because then we can change the field of view and the angle in post production, or live in Nest Play.
Okay, and can you share in the chat how can people reach the software or the application? How does that work? I mean, anybody wants to generate something.
Like Pat mentioned, we have a Google AI Ultra account, which gives us access to Google Flow. I think it's about $400 Canadian a month. And that gives you unlimited. So they have two models that two AI video models that they use. They have the fast, and then the I don't know what they call it, fast or like regular model, like the high quality model. The high quality model costs a certain number of credits. The fast model with the AI Ultra account, you can generate as much as you want. Personally, I haven't seen a big difference in terms of the image quality in the dome, in the smaller dome, like the 6-meter, 8-meter. So we've been just generating with the fast model. We've been generating when it's it can be a bit longer to render depending on the hour of day. But yeah, with $400 a month for pretty much unlimited renders, and we're just, for corporate projects, we'll use like the pro model, even if it gives you like a slightly better quality of image. But for just like tests and research and development, we've been using the fast model, and we can just render out hundreds a day. Yep, hundreds a day.
Okay.
And I think the 4K upscaling does take like 25 credits or something like this.
Okay, but you can still get the 4K then if you need it.
So
Sure.
yeah,
Well,
it's a short introduction of AI tools. So before you go to the Ultra account, before to spend all that money, just be aware that it's not for everyone. So it just
Yeah, but it happens that sometimes you just need one small scene that's still missing in your production, and so this may help. Well, really, Shannon, Patrick, thank you for this. I think we have to move on, but with the presentations. But really, this is very important because it opens a new door for making our own images for the full dome images, which has been previously what's very difficult to achieve. So it's really important to have. So thank you for showing us all of this. Okay, so now just remember those who came later, please fill in a survey that I'm doing in the chat so we can discuss about it later. So now we have Francois with the construction of a planet bar. In fact, let me just show you just for some minutes. This is the agenda that we have. And so we're going with the construction of a planet bar. Okay.
Yes.
So, Francois, thank you.
Hear me okay?
Yes.
Thanks. Thanks, Marco. Thanks, Suzanne, for include me in the agenda. It's a pleasure. Share my screen. Allez, voilà. Écran. OK. It's okay. Sorry, my English is not perfect. You can see I wrote the subtitle the subtitle on the presentation. I am pleased to present two projects finished. In first, the Planet Bar, in French, le bar à planète. A 6-meter long counter inspired by the iconic Star Trek dashboard. You can see here, 6 meters. It's a product for the Planetarium in France, Vaux-en-Velin, around Lyon. Alors, je vois pas. Alors, along these 6 meters, the planet is j'arrive pas. Ouais. The planet, donc, on the two different scales for distance and the other for diameter. If I had used the exact same scales for both, the sun would only measure 1.3 millimeters in diameter. You can see here distance. Okay, diameters. Okay. Now, each planet fits. Sorry, I can read the text. Each planet donc fits on the slot. Et you can see on the text. I present the trajectories probes, space probes, like a subway map. Voilà, this is Pluton. Voilà, donc ça c'est donc c'était the planet bar. The second project is an armillary sphere. I have been making then since the 90s. Alors, as you may know, this instrument is widely recognized for its educational and museological, je vais y arriver, museological value. Sorry. Voilà. I designed this sphere for an exhibition in France, in Eden Center, in the village Cuisery, that feature the very first planetarium set up by Albert Pla, Immersive Adventure. You can see here the planetarium, 6 meter. And the name of the exhibition is Night, la nuit. This armillary sphere has a diameter of 1.10 meters. Its latitude can be adjusted, and the ecliptic band display both the signs of the zodiac and the ecliptic constellations. You can see here. To compare astrology, astronomy. Voilà, I craft armillary sphere in various size or design. And now I am also starting to produce astrolabs to further support this educational and historical approach. We can see on the right the astrolabs make with laser system. Voilà, non, astrolabe, armillary sphere. And thank you for your time. Voilà, it's
Well, thank you, Francois. So you use this along with the planetarium activities?
Sorry. Je coupe là. Stop. Sorry, difficult to understand. Marco, please repeat.
Do you make events with the students where you have planetarium presentations, and then you have a place where they can visit the Planet Bar and this other device.
Alors, the Planet Bar is inside the building of Planetarium, big Planetarium,
Okay.
12 meters for students and mainstream, and public, general public. Is the armillary sphere for exhibition on the Eden Center, like a museum with a little planetarium inside.
Okay. The Amilosphere, how you call it? Do you have a smaller model?
Yes, a model, you can choose the dimension. Donc, 14 centimeters of 1 meters. If possible, to choose the dimension and the design, if black, blue, wood color.
Okay, great. Any more questions, everybody? Okay. Well, then it's great. Thank you.
I give
Francois.
my email.
You did this
Thank
great.
you.
Thanks. You're an artist. Okay, so let me bring up the agenda again. So now we will have Loris. You have a gift, a surprise for us now. So there you go. And I think I have your images, right?
Okay.
So I will be sharing from here. Let me bring this up again. I think we're ready. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. You listen me? No?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Susan. Sorry for my last arrival. I'm just here now. Okay, this is a little strange idea, but just could be curious for some of you because describe something a little special that can be shared with the audience of the planetarium, of our public. And therefore, I would like to share with you this idea. Can be also considered like a gift for the participant of your projection under the dome. A gift like a memory of a lesson that can also be different for each participant. Okay, with the help of Marco, thank you, Marco, my talk will be together with just a few images. For example, the first, now you show, okay, thank you.
Yeah, please, sorry, let me use it this way because
no.
I
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Just one by one is better.
Yeah.
And I said probably suggest a different explanation for you, for each of you, but you watch something. Therefore, for example, two persons on the beach or on a sunny day close to the sea or a river coast. This is my fantasy. Yours probably is very different. It's not conditioned, but the following images. Among the subject of our lesson proposed more often, there is the description of the apparent yearly movement of the sun in the sky and the beginning of the seasons. Under the dome, it is easier to explain the astronomical season, and the public can understand easily what happened in the days of solstice and equinox. But we don't know exactly if they really understand all and for how long remain in the mind this knowledge. There is another way to discover solstice and equinox. Outside in the real sky, in a sunny day, obviously, we can discover the 4 main days of the astronomical calendar under the real sky through the sun shadow projected by a stick fixed in a ground in vertical position using a plumb line to be correct, the correct way. Very easy for anyone. After explaining the method, it's very easily to reproduce, you know, very, very well this system. Probably the following images that you saw already before. Thank you, Marco, to show the second image. Okay, and now help you to discover the real meaning of the previous slide, but probably some way you understood before. The gift for your audience that I propose is a vertical sundial, but different from the common sun clock. I just come on the back of my history. I organized in the past an international contest for 12 years called Shadow of Time for makers of these instruments. We received a lot of work of any kind from different countries, some really incredible and original, but all are accessible only in the reading to the expert of mnemonics, and also to create very difficult some of these instruments. Instead, the sundial that I propose as a gift for you, for your audience, is very easy to create for anyone without mathematics, geometry, but only observation of the sun. You know very well the method. But I just repeat to explain better why I select this kind of sundial and why I consider like a gift for your audience. If you tell about this project, for example, at the end of the lesson, probably this sundial in any case appears strange because containing only 4 main lines. And obviously the gnomon perpendicular on the wall, I select the perpendicular on the wall, more easy to put inside the wall instead of a polar gnomon aligned with the Earth and the polar stars that require more work. Because I would like to reduce the explanation to the public, and also because at the end of the lecture you have a few minutes to explain that. Obviously, you can tell to the audience if someone is interested in the project, write me, and I will reply with you with a description, written description that said more things, more information. That will be also useful in the case it is necessary to reply to some question when the people try to do that really on the wall in the house, for example. We can consider another line, not only 4, 5. This is the gift, the real gift. Considering also different for each participant of your activity. Later, I tell you what you can imagine. You know very well how it's possible to draw on the wall this line, only using sun shadow. For example, during the day of summer solstice, will be obviously possible to draw the curve of summer, the line of summer solstice below, because you can see on the image, you know very well, because the sun is very high in the sky, therefore on the vertical surface, the shadow will be very long. And arrive just on below the space of the sundial. And the same will be necessary observing the sun shadow 6 months later in the winter solstice, as in the following image, please, Marco, image number 3 can show. Okay, and therefore we have we obtain the line of the winter solstice above, because the sun is very low. Always talking about vertical surface, obviously, in the wall. Obviously, in the day of solstice, in the case will be covered by clouds, will be necessary to wait. Okay, we said to wait 1 year? Oh, terrible things, a terrible project. In any case, it's possible also to begin to draw the line the day before, and during solstice, also we can try 2 days before, because the movement, the change of the position of the sky is really slow. And the same 1 or 2 days later, the day of solstice. And therefore, we have more days available. But in any case, I just use the word slow. The Easy Sundial is a project of slow astronomy. We don't have necessity to produce the result in a moment, in a few days, because of the purpose that the understanding about the method remain for long in the mind. Therefore, that will be deep in the mind, and it can be also diffused to other person. This is very important. You are sure that the audience listen your lesson, that understood very well all, and the main part in particular? I don't know. This is a question that I try to ask all my life of work under the dome. In any case, the slow astronomy requires patience and time. Okay, in fact, the purpose is to be sure that the person involved in the realization of the sundial understand very well how works the measurement of the season through the use of the shadow of the sun. And what happened in the following season? We continue, obviously, with the same work. During the equinox, that is the image number 4. Thank you, Marco, to share the next image. More days are available. 1 before, not 2, 1 before, because it's different during equinox, wherefore 1 before, and 1 after the day of equinox, in the case that the cloud cover the sky. But we have 2 occasions, because as you know, the line of equinox doesn't change. Therefore, we have each year something like 6 days available to do the activity. Therefore, we continue our work with a gift, the famous 5th line. We can invite the person interested in the project to include also the date of the birthday, for example, of the person, of one of the members of the family, or other person that can attract, for example, your audience. Oh, could be interesting on my wall of the house, something that is particular, different from each of one. And also the line of anniversary. In the case of the planetarium, could be the 7th May, the International Day of Planetarium, something like that, or the birthday of Galileo or another famous astronomer, I don't know, famous discoverer, and so on. And in this way, become also a historical sundial for history about astronomy. You can do a lesson on the wall using some line about that. And therefore, the fifth line would be different for each easy sundial. But it is strange, a sundial without hours. No, only season. Therefore, you can tell to your audience also in which way can be around the local culmination of the sun. It is possible to draw the noon line. But the following image, the image number 5. Thank you, Marco, to show the image number 5, and just below the drawing of the sun. For example, we can do it, you know very well, looking the distance of the short line shadow using the sun shadow projected by a stick fixed in the ground. I tell before about that. In vertical position using a plumb line because it doesn't work on the wall. Need more explanation. Therefore, we reduce the explanation just enough. Therefore, you can bring a stick fixed in the ground and so on. Therefore, very easily to do that. That is one of the basic observational experiment to do in each classroom, obviously. Why to build a sundial so strange? To have more space for the drawing, any kind of drawing. That I call this strange sundial sun murales. We call murales. I don't know if really international work, but like also imagine the painting on the wall by street artists, something like this. There are village in Italy are so diffuse. In villages where it's possible to see on the old part of the village many painted representation on the wall about the history of the site, the local tradition, the work, characteristic work, and so on. Therefore, we can imagine that also in this sundial is available a lot of space, only 4 or 5 lines, therefore really more space for this drawing. And also writing short sentence is normal in the sundial to have a motto, we tell in Italy motto, and therefore Latin name usually is a Latin sentence connected with the sun or connected with some philosophical consideration, comment, something that can attract the interest, the mind of the person that look at this sundial. Therefore, my last proposal is for you, colleague. I invite you to invent a special drawing for the easy sundial. It's not necessary to realize the real sundial, but just to prepare the drawing, the project, what appear on the wall after the line, which is the drawing. Imagine that working with the children of a school, how many work can be invented by children. And for example, very interesting to see a drawing that contains something about your work, our work, an inflatable dome. The projector under the dome, the public under the dome, could be used like a logo of your facility, like a promotion. Instead of to use, as usual, the photo, you can invent an image like that. Okay, also using intelligence, artificial intelligence. Obviously, you can use also this system to invent with a prompt, adapt the prompt to the artificial intelligence to create a drawing like that with inside the drawing of the planetarium. I working about this idea about many subjects, and I involved because I work in a natural science museum. Therefore, I involved the participant to a contest that are a national contest that attract many professional illustrator of natural science drawing, very scientific, obviously, needed to be there in this way. And I suggested to do that and to create an exposition of different works. I show one of this work, but please don't share because it's not published again. Give you just the idea. And in this case, you can see also the number on the drawing. Okay, Marco, you can put the last, show the last slide where you see plants and animal. Yes, I tell you that is a representation with the subject of natural science. Why the number? Because obviously it's so rich of detail. We need a legend, an index to recognize. Imagine how many work in the classroom will be possible with a work like that in the wall of a school or in a place that the school visit during a path. And I will begin today for you. Yes, I waited just today to publish the drawing, and I begin today to publish on Facebook this work, but not all together, like the puzzle of the mosaic. Therefore, each day or each time, one detail and a short explanation. Therefore, the people watching the Facebook page discover what will be the final result at the end. And what is interesting, that the plants and animal are in connection with the season, obviously. Therefore, you can see there are different colors, not only different number. And therefore, there are flowers that appear at the beginning of spring, plants characteristic and fruit at the during the fall equinox, and the same for each season. And we can imagine also painted representation that are in connection with season, about many subjects, also about science, different experiment possible during the season, for example, or connection with astronomy and so on. Therefore, this is the proposal, and I really interested to see if some of you next time during the meeting in September will be ready to show some idea, and will be interesting to compare also different idea, and also to share on a web page later, obviously before, after the meeting of September, in the case that there are reply about this idea, this project, different words. I share my mail on, but you know, also through Marco and Susan, my mail to share eventually, to collect to share idea, and if some of you are curious about the result of new project, I will share also the images, and I imagine I will prepare also an article about this subject, because I just presented for the first time today. Therefore, when Marco and Susan asked me to prepare something, I'm not sure to be ready to do that. But today probably is a good time. Therefore, the agenda offer space. And sorry if I take probably too much time, but I prefer to explain very deeply this idea and which are the real reason. Therefore, drawing, and to be sure that the person that creates the sundial understand really the astronomical content of this experience. Thank you for all the colleagues, and thank you, Marco and Susan, to host me during this meeting.
Of course. Thank you, Loris. Make sure you put your email so we can follow up
Okay.
on this.
Yes. I put on the chat.
Yeah, and then in next meeting we should like follow up on your
Okay.
project.
Thank you.
Great. Is there any question?
I'm going to try this because the front of my house is facing due south.
Okay, thank you.
I think I can make a good sign.
I thank you, Susan, about that, because I forgot to say that usually I suggest the south wall, but is okay also east and west when during noon there is obviously the sun. Therefore, in this case, could be in any case used also the wall on the both lateral wall. And I just begin the project also because there are in our territory different meeting to share the knowledge necessary to create all that. And also I involve a person to create the gnomon, because the gnomon can be used something that you find at home, therefore need to be created. All the best condition to offer the easily way to create this sundial, because it needed to be very easily for anyone.
Okay, great. Thank you, Loris, again. So now we follow up with our agenda. I'll show you the results that we have for the survey. It's a general survey, and obviously there are a lot of considerations to be taken into account for the effects of the crisis in our planetariums. But with what you have answered, we have these results. So mostly you say that about a direct negative impact on your planetarium's rentability due to the global financial crisis resulting from the ongoing wars. So to recap from the beginning, I'm doing this because there is a concern in the German-speaking Planetarium Association about the effects that they are having on the rentability of the planetariums, both fixed and mobiles. Especially mobiles, they say, for example, there is one company that says that out of 8 out of 10 requests resulted in a contract or an event, but now it's just 5 out of 10. I still find 5 out of 10 really good, because here in Costa Rica it's 2 or 1 out of 10. So it's yes, I have to make a lot of quotes to get some, but they feel there an effect on this. So I wanted to make this survey, and out of you say that mostly no, the situation is not affecting my planetarium's performance. That could depend on the region you are located. I also added, because we probably cannot tell exactly if the effect, if a negative effect is because of the ongoing war, or there is a local, really internal reason of that. And well, 3 out of the 11 answers that I have here, they suggest that there's definitely an effect that you can tell it's because of what's happening. When you compare the first months of 2026 with this same first 5 months of 2025, most of you say the planetarium's earnings are just the same, okay? And then there is a noticeable decrease in the planetarium's income, unless my planetarium is selling better in 2026 than in 2025, or I guess that you could also not have access to that kind of information to really tell. But these are the results, and I may have to inquire some more aspects to be able to reach some conclusions about this topic. And here, this is very interesting. Probably what you want to know, what you yourselves have done in able to sustain the planetarium's operation. I'm going to read them one by one. You say, we conduct open house to increase visitors. So that's one of the strategies. Alliances with government contractors, cultural events, local government calls. Okay, that's very direct. Innovation and new planetarium contents, new topics, and not only astronomy. You see, develop the visual technology. Well, there's the resolution with the projectors to get a better view. Better organization background, so more direct school advertising. Direct school advertising. We don't do that in Costa Rica. We tried, and no, they just don't open the door. It's easier online in our case, but well, this seems to work for you. Also, we invest in more and more dome and different audiences. So over 35 mobile dome and over 15 sectors we now serve. Well, that's diverse. Great. Keep up the new findings and happenings in space. Being a current education. Try to diversify the offer with different kind of themes to open to people not fond of science specifically. Okay, that's great. Our planetarium is government funded to travel to rural schools. This is only my second year, so I hope to add some more Native American star lore knowledge to show for our visits to tribal lands in the area. Just researching and starting to learn myself. Okay, yeah, we kind of do that here in Costa Rica. We don't have much of a cultural astronomy, but there are some populations. And more publicity via Facebook and Instagram. Well, just more. So these are the results. Thank you for filling out the survey. I'll try to write like an article for this in the Planetarium magazine next time. Okay. And now let's go back to the agenda. And we will have Susan. We have very important updates. So please go ahead.
I don't know if you can put my document that I sent you
I can
up on the screen.
Yeah, just give me a minute. You can start, and I'm just going to bring it up.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm using a different computer, I don't have the document on this one.
You're right.
So the first thing that I was going to talk about is the conference in Fukuoka, and let you know that there's been 2 recordings, and you can find them on the IPS YouTube channel that discusses some of the details of travel and hotels, etc. So people had questions, and the hosts were answering some of those questions, and those items are on, those recordings are on the YouTube video, so you can take a look at that. But specifically for mobile dome sessions, there are other sessions that would possibly be of interest to us, but the main day of mobile domes presentations is June 23rd. And there will be 4 talks and then a workshop with several talks and demonstrations. I would ask that at the end of this meeting, Marco and Loris and Lionel could stay for a minute so we can just check in with each other on this, because we are running this workshop together. Okay, so the next item was new partners from IPS. IPS is partnering with Full Dome Database and Astro XL, and the Full Dome Database is for people interested in Full Dome production, making contacts with other people doing that, making some projects together. It's a way of contacting people of similar interest. And the Astro XL Commons is dedicated to astronomy education. So resources for educators and connections that can be made with specialists in the field. So those 2 are additional ways that we can use the connection with IPS to connect with these people and have some more resources for ourselves. The next thing that I wanted to mention is IPS has developed some task forces to help to make the IPS more relevant to members. And so they are going to be asking for feedback on all of these different things. So they're going to be talking about the general operation of the organization, how we can promote more research, maybe thinking about planetarium certification for directors, and how to increase member benefits or evaluate the benefits that we have already. So you have board members in your region, and you can communicate with the board members, or you can communicate through your regional association, and then they will communicate to IPS some of your thoughts about these topics. Of course, anytime you have any kind of questions or any kind of additional thoughts to give to IPS, contact your board member for your region or your local astronomy association that you belong to, and that they can forward it to IPS and keep your voice heard by the organization. Okay, the next thing was looking down here. The contests for that we've been running for members of IPS and non-members. You can participate in these contests without even being a member of IPS. We're hoping that it'll inspire you to join IPS. But I wanted to point out that for the week in Italy, we only accept United States American applications, but that application is due by July 31st. So that's an important date to remember. That's coming up pretty close. So, and you can always apply to these ahead of time. You don't have to wait for the last minute, but we generally do that. Maureen Hines just came back from Italy and wrote a fantastic report, which will be published in the Planetarium. And I put there some of the cities that she visited. As you can see, it's a wonderful trip across Italy to be able to participate in this. The week in the US, we only had one winner this year, and she's from Indonesia, Alfia, and Sean Lodge is hosting her in Maine. All of the rest of these, a week in the US, a week with the GDP and Voices from the Dome, all of these things are due, applications are due for December 31st, and international applications are encouraged. Everyone from around the world can apply for these things. Week with the GDP, or the German-speaking Planetarium Association, the winner this year was Jason Trump. He is traveling later this year. He's from Salt Lake City, and he's going to Tyrol, Austria, which should be a really wonderful trip. Pages of Stars is another contest. We had two winners, a first place winner talking about mining the night sky using asteroids as a resource for metals and water. And we published these winners on the IPS webpage under global projects. And the audio is there so that you could actually use it in your planetarium if you wanted to vary the voice that's being used in your planetarium. But if you want to read the script yourself and use that idea in your planetarium, you can do that too. Second place winner was The Brightest Darkness, which is talking about quasars. There are several winners and several free things. These are all free to use. They're all released to you to use them at your discretion. Audio clips and the written documents. I think that's the last thing I had, to make sure that you apply for some of these contests and make sure you use some of the resources that we've gleaned from these projects. Thanks very much.
Well, thank you, Susan. It's great. Well, a lot of things to be done. So with that, we reached the end of our agenda. So is there any last comment or question from any of you? Yep.
Thank you, Marco. I wonder if you could please share the document that Susan just showed us. so
Sure.
we can apply for those, some of them. And also, I will love to join one of the groups. How can I apply for it?
Okay. The application information is on the IPS website. If you just go to the website and then across the top, maybe Marco, you can show this. But anyway, across the top, there's different titles and you have to go to Get Involved. So if you go to Get Involved, and then you click on that, it will go to Global Projects.
Global projects.
And then when you go down on Global Projects, you see contests, competitions, professional development, and all the rules and all the methods for applying are there, along with Q&A, a page of Q&A. But then if you have further questions, of course, you can write to me and I'd be happy to clarify things for you. They've increased. Oh, this is one of the things I should have said. They've increased, and I don't know if maybe we can check on that. Look at the week in Italy, for instance, Marco, and let's see if they've changed it. You get a stipend for travel to, yes, they've increased it to $2,000 stipend for travel. Your room and your board is paid when you get there. Your travel, you have to keep a record, and after you get back, then you send your application for those funds for the up to $2,000 to the IPS treasurer, and then they will pay you out of the treasury. But you have to kind of prove that you already went, so that they know that you actually did the work. It's an exciting, wonderful experience, and I encourage you to apply for that, and also for the Pages of Stars contest, because that builds up a nice bank of data for us to use. Was there another question you had?
Well, I had one. Was that increased also for the German visit?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yep, all of them, the week in the US and the German and Italy.
Okay.
We can also remember, Susan, that about Page of Star, there are also the audio page with many recording from the colleague, and also it's possible to continue to collaborate. In the case, also is an old collection, therefore is the page of audio. In the page of audio, I don't know if it's possible.
Yeah,
from
this
here.
this is one set of audios. This is the Pages of Stars, but there's also Voices from the Dome.
Exactly. Thank you, Susan.
Yeah.
On
Voices from the Dome are also in different languages. So that's another asset for us.
Very easy to collaborate. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If you go back, Marco, to Global Projects. If you go up and you see Voices from the Dome project, you can donate to that bank of voices. You can make a little MP3 audio clip, and you can look at these things. It's people talking about what is a quasar, what is a solar eclipse, what is a lunar eclipse, what are the seasons, that kind of thing. There's also some people just talking about how they got involved in being a planetarian. So that's a wonderful area to look at on the website.
It is very easy to collaborate because it's enough to create a short audio recording and MP3 file, usually not more than 3 minutes, but also 5 in some cases, and therefore to send. There are many subjects that you can collaborate because you can check the list, and also because it's very curious in my mind to collect personal observation, very particular phenomena of a sky visible to naked eye. This is the main subject of this idea.
Yes, I like to use voices of people from a different latitude to talk about the seasons, because after I do a season lesson, then I can go to another latitude, and the person can say, you can use one of these clips to listen to them talking about seasons in their location, and it may be very different than your own location.
And in the second line, if you return just the second line of the, okay, the language, also regional dialect can be accepted. But in this case, there is a special project that is promoted since the last 2 years begin, the astronomy about naked eye phenomena and sky object also in local languages. This is very curious, very good, and also in different official languages, because we have the help of our colleague Kevin Milani, is one of the winner of the week in Italy, that collaborated with us to prepare. What?
Pick one for me. Sorry.
Okay. No, nothing. And collaborated with us to prepare the also audio recording in English that help us to diffuse the idea, the project. And for example, just 1 month ago, we received just a short symbolic collaboration from the Planetarium of Buenos Aires, the host of 2028 International Conference, that produced one of the chapter devoted to the Star of Navigator in Spanish, and therefore just a curiosity. But it's very interesting for local dialect. This project began because our observatory is in one valley, very short, very small, but where the local dialect, wow, is very important. There are dictionary, publication, and so on. And we have the contact with a colleague from other valley, Alpine Valley, that is Francesca, where is diffused more strong the Latin language, with television in Latin, which is radio, newspaper. And therefore, with this combination, we start with the two local dialects. Obviously, there is also the Italian text and also the English, therefore anyone can understand the content of the text. We have also the collaboration of French colleagues like Lionel, that prepare also a new item, new subject about this database that contain. For that reason, I returned to the voices from the dome. It's interesting also to collect your memories about particular phenomena on the sky. But the interesting thing, sorry if I took 2 more minutes, and is the connection between the local languages and the fact that the sky is for all. Anyone can watch the sky. Therefore, imagine how so many persons that doesn't know nothing about astronomy could be that see a meteor or an aurora borealis very rarely someplace, and other phenomena, very strange. Therefore, could be very interesting to attract, to involve, to share the knowledge of that, also using your experience. Because I like when for example, I collect a famous Italian astronomer that remember that he lose the occasion to see a very, very rich meteor shower. And he said, I am stupid, and discover this phenomena the day following. Obviously, he know what happened in the evening before, but probably for some other work doesn't watch the sky. And he discover what happened in the sky, listening on the bar, tell the driver in the night on the highway that said, incredible phenomenon last night. I stopped my truck on the star. There is a long queue of truck on the highway to watch what happened in the sky because it's really incredible. And imagine this astronomer said, I am stupid. I lose the meteor shower of my life, and it's not possible to see again. Okay, just a funny story about this archive.
Oh, thank you. I see that we have a question about how to join the education research group. Marco, if you can go to committees, it would be under committees. Let's see. Get involved committees, yeah. Education. Okay, so if you go to it would be an ad hoc committee, yeah. If you go to the education committee, Jenny Shipway, and you write to her and you say, I would like to get involved in the research project, the task force, she would probably be your best contact person. Thank you so much for, yeah, we would enjoy having you on that task force. Any questions, any further questions like that, or if you want me to send you the document that of all the announcements, please email me because as I said, I don't have my own computer here. So if you send me an email, sbutton Q2C, I'll put it in the chat at gmail.com, then I can answer you better. Okay.
Oh,
There it is.
great. So any other thing?
Thank you so much.
We usually take about 2 hours with these meetings. And so as of today, it will be available on the YouTube IPS channel, along with the other ones. Okay, so we're done for the day. You're unmuted, Susan, in case you're... Susan, okay.
I said bye-bye.
Yeah, okay.
Very easy.
Well, see you
Bye-bye
then.
to everyone. Thank you, Marco. Thank you, Susan.
Okay.
Bye-bye. À bientôt, François.
Okay, I'll stop the recording
Oui,
here.
bientôt, hein, Loris.